So, I'm so happy to be here with you, with Anima and her friends, her girlfriends, and my idea is to give you a space to share your thoughts, ideas, impressions, feelings, attitudes, perceptions of the reality with our viewers, your viewers. And first of all, I would like to ask you to tell some words about each of you, yourself, about your background, and then why are you in masks? Who wants to start?
Okay. So, well, I personally don't like to identify myself with a particular culture or religion, but for the records, I'm a Pakistani and I grew up as a Muslim. But I really like these words of Rumi, which says that nor from the east nor west, my place is placeless, a trace of traceless. I just really love these lines, and I kind of idealize to become that person, you know, who doesn't belong anywhere yet everywhere. And why I am in these masks is we are going to do some stuff in the future that some people would appreciate a lot, but some people won't. So it's better that we kind of maintain our privacies. Yeah.
I would like to ask you, what are you going to do, and how would you like to provoke people? Can you?
Yes, sure. No, actually we don't plan to do something evil, not at all. We just want to encourage people to express themselves more, to be more artistic. And I think when people start to express themselves more and they try to choose to get rid of control and power, then there are people who are not happy about it, because then they can't control you. And once they lose control, they also eventually lose their power.
Nobody controls you.
In an ideal world, yes.
But in the reality, who controls you?
There are certain pressures from the society or from the people around you in general, but of course at the end of the day, it depends upon you if you choose to break free from it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you are always under control. At the end of the day, it's your choice. But of course there is a price that you pay for it, most of the times.
Okay.
Wow. I just let Christina maybe speak.
Hello, I'm a Russian girl from Estonia. Last year I finished my school after I decided to go to the events management course in England, Birmingham. So this year I finished my first year in university, and the second year it will be a placement, so I have to find an internship. And I found an Alexandra, and now I'm Alexandra's intern here for the 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, both are interns, even though Saba has also become co-founder of my NGO, which is the place that will do those arts tech projects that we're planning to do. And we're planning to do a novel flash mob project that will take us all across Europe ideally. So 28 cities, 27 European capitals plus Bern in Switzerland. And it will be about self-expression, and well, we cordially invite everybody of all abilities, all backgrounds to join us and express themselves. And yeah, these two girls are my interns actually, or Saba came here as intern, and she's grown into, well, Saba came before, so she had ample time to, you know, get to know the whole thing and grow.
Your followers and like-minded people. And why?
I don't want to have followers. I would like to have, I've always wanted to have collaborators, people that are somewhat kindred spirits in a sense, and I really don't care where they come from, but I need people for me that share similar values. And yeah, now finally seems to be the time where I can, I mean, of course, they're still interns, but as I say, like Saba has completely grown out of it, and with Christina, she's super young, so it's maybe she will join me, maybe not, you know. For her primarily it's this yet creative internship, so she gets to explore her skills. Saba also explores her skills. All of us constantly explore and develop our skills. But yeah, I don't want followers. It's the very last thing that would interest me, you know. Yeah, but yeah.
Because a leader destroys followers, and followers destroy a leader. Yeah, right or wrong?
Well, yeah, yes, because these definitions. They have to do with power, and it's, sorry to say, it's a patriarchal thing, to be honest. Maybe it's a human thing, but it's a human thing that patriarchy has. This whole power issue of somebody there and somebody there is just, I mean, it can make sense when there is like somebody who is older with a lot more knowledge and somebody wants to learn, and obviously there's going to be this discrepancy there, and there's going to be some difference in a level of something, but essentially everyone is the same, with some differences depending on where you are, in a job, in a family, you know, but yeah, in this sense, because there is this power issue, it's unnatural, because everyone is born the same, and if you make something unnatural, which is something that patriarchy is really good at, the economy, religion, it always works with, you know, differences, artificial differences between people, and that destroys people, because no one wants to be put down. No one wants to, and it's also, by the way, for a leader, even if you try to do it in a positive way, because in some contexts you have to, then it is extreme pressure on you, you know, and that's also not healthy. So we have a very unhealthy system because of this power thing that all has to do with people not knowing themselves, because if I'm happy with who I am, I just want to chill and I want to do the stuff that interests me. I don't want to go around and play Hitler, you know what I mean? And even Hitler it wasn't like one evil person, it was one evil person and millions of willing followers. That all had their own issues, you know, and it was all very destructive, and we don't want that. It's not something healthy.
Christina, why are you in mask? I forgot.
It's just like my impression. I don't know.
You just want to be in a mask, yes?
Yes, I just want to be in a mask.
You just like it.
I feel myself like comfortable when I'm masked.
And safety.
And safety, yes.
And safe, yeah. Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, I guess I also, I mean, in a sense that I kind of forced her, because of the whole theme of this and me always being in masks. I figured it would be a good idea also, you know, then before this video started, we figured it's a good idea to be in mask, because if you're not used to the format, you might say something wrong and you might feel intimidated, you know, and if you have the mask, it protects you.
So I think that each of you wears a mask in different reasons. So Christina wears it for protection, to feel safe. You, Anima, wear to impress people, yeah, and motivate them to express themselves, yeah, to be unusual, original, free, yes. And Saba wear mask for future projects, and you wear mask for these two reasons: to feel safe and to impress people, and to inspire them, be feel free.
Yes, like to get rid of any sort of control or pressures that they might feel.
Yeah, pressure. Let's talk about pressure. Maybe you can share your social experience or political experience, yes, or family experience or school experience when you felt pressure. Can we talk about this topic? Who wants to start and to share your experience, how to live under the pressure?
Okay, so well, some of the aspects of Pakistani society can be very toxic because it's a closed society. Of course, it has some beautiful aspects to it, like when you need something, there are people there for you, but also when you don't need them, they are still there for you and peeking their nose in your business. I was very fortunate that my family was very liberal and they gave me all the freedom, and that's why I'm here today. But we still had certain things. For example, in not only in Pakistan but in South Asian countries in general, you have a lot of academic pressure, and you always have to be the best student if you want to, go around with honor. Because when your relatives or neighbors, they come together, they discuss. I mean, it's a very small example, but this is where it starts. You have the pressure to be either a doctor or an engineer, and then after this, I was able to kind of get rid of that as I moved abroad after high school for my studies. Again, I was a good student. I don't know if the pressure had played a role in that, or it's because I always, we had this kind of ideology in our house that if you want to do something, like try to do it in the best possible form, or don't do it at all. Like, why do you even bother if you don't want to do it? So that ended up in me kind of putting my best in everything that I did, and I eventually got a scholarship in Turkey, and I studied there for 5 years. Now in Turkey, I also feel like I had this pressure that since I was always kind of the top student, then there was this pressure that I have to do something so they can present me as an example to other students. So this pressure of being successful, which again is weird because concepts like success and happiness are very relative, and they can differ from one person to person, like to 360 degrees. So these were this one of the small pressures that I feel like I faced. And then of course in our society, they don't directly affect me because I don't live there, but there are pressures to to get married, to settle down, and for them my lifestyle of traveling from one place to another is somewhat irrational. But as I said before, that at the end of the day, it's your decision if you want to get rid of that control or pressure, but you pay a price for it. For example, it's hard for me to stay in or live in Pakistan, and that's the price I feel like I pay for it. Yeah.
Okay, but now you are an example too for people who watch this video.
Yeah,
as
happy.
a liberated lady.
That's true.
And
I hope I
free
inspire
thinker.
some people.
Free thinker, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Christina?
I can say that I was never under the pressure. I'm happy about it because I have a very good family. I love him. I like all my family, and in my school, all my classmates, they're also good people, all my work experience. But I can say that if someone is under the pressure, he has to be a very strong person and smart person actually to control all these things and to make it much easier because it's hard when you are under the pressure. So.
So you're lucky.
I'm lucky,
yeah?
yes.
And you just have a big empathy to other people,
Yes, I
other
think
girls
so.
who are under the pressure, yeah? And
Maybe.
want to support them, yeah?
I think I can support all people. It's very. I can do it easily. So.
This self-confidence you have is like, I can support everybody, it's super. Great. We want this attitude. No, seriously. Yeah, pressure. Of course, I'm much older than the girls. I've lived so many lives. I've seen so many industries. There's different pressures in tech, in business, in social, in the creative industry. Of all the pressures I've seen, to be honest, the most toxic one is being a female in tech or being in the music industry as a woman. And let me just focus on the music industry because this is like something. I know that there's a lot of women out there try to change this toxic shit that we are subjected to when we try to express ourselves creatively. It's always about, oh, can't you wear like a slit in your skirt to show some leg or whatever, and you're demisexual or asexual and you just don't want to play along to this shit because you want to creatively express yourself. You want to be a role model to women. You want to do something and change the planet, and all you get told is, oh, can't you just wear a skirt? You don't even have to sing. Yeah, but I want to sing. But you don't have to sing. All you have to look just like some Barbie doll with big tits and big lips, and that's it. You know, and you're going like, that's all you hear. This destroys 99.5% of creativity out there. So people, everything you see in the media, all these music videos, even Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is special because she had parents who fostered her talent, loved her, protected her. She has a really great management team. You can see that in all of the videos that are about her. She has some really great friends who, of course, are all pretty famous and have similar issues or worse issues because they didn't have this level of protection. But even she has limitations and pressures put on her that destroy her creativity. If everybody in music could express themselves the way they want to, without all these toxic A&R and all kinds of producers, managers, whatever else, all that shit in the music industry, we would have real creativity. And 99% of the charts videos wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have this shitty music. We would have decent music, real music. People would have time, not having to worry about all this pressure and that crap. You could produce real music, real art. And real art is like Schiller says, it's the best, it's the responsibility of the artist to bring out, to represent the best in mankind. Imagine what pop and rock music or even rap and hip hop could be like if all that toxic shit was gone and all this pressure and this one focus on sex, sex, sex. Yeah, maybe some people want sex, it's okay. But there's demisexuals, there's asexuals, there's genderqueer people who maybe have a completely different way of expressing themselves, where sex isn't even a topic because because they consider themselves aliens and live on a cloud. I don't care. But the point is, this doesn't represent what most people get into music for. Well, maybe some guys who want to play the guitar to impress girls, but even they want to play the guitar, you know. And maybe even for them, if you look at Harry Styles, he's constantly being asked shitty questions, and he seems to be the kind of dude that actually wants to have people ask him decent questions and wants to get, you know, decent things done and be creative as an artist and not being like chased by screaming hordes of girls because they make him into this sex symbol, you know. It's also for the men's it's a problem, but it's specifically a problem for the girls because we primarily get told to look like I don't know, something we're not. And there might be some women who get into music or creativity to get more men, maybe, because there's also women with a very strong sex drive. But the point is, for somebody like me, that was the worst of the worst of the worst. Of all the toxic shit I've seen, of all the derogatory comments, of all the, oh yeah, you're a girl, yeah, you're stupid, or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or of all the nasty shit from any side, society, religion, pressures from universities, jobs, people. That was the very worst, and the music industry is the worst of the worst, I think, and these pressures are just toxic, and the whole thing needs to be disposed of, you know. I mean, Weinstein in the film industry isn't the only one, but in music industry you have a lot of them, like Kesha was raped by her own producer. I'm not surprised, because of most of the women that I adore as musical artists, I really ask myself what they could have produced, probably 200 times more, if they hadn't been raped, deformed, pressurized into a box. You know, they live like this. They could be this. That's what makes me most mad, and this is the pressure that I just don't like. And some of it has to do with being a woman in a patriarchal society. Some of it has to do with people and their power issues. And it's just, people have to understand that if they pressure other people, that they deprive themselves. People learn to collaborate and work together, learn to understand synchronicities. The cosm always sends people together. Not every meeting is a synchronicity, but many, many meetings of people happen for a reason. You have to understand them. To understand them, you need to learn to communicate. You need to learn how to make the best of this communion, of this coming together of two souls, because that's what it essentially is. But most people don't even get to see 1% of this, because they are living in these pressures and they think they have to yield to these pressures, and you don't. And I think COVID has shown to people that a lot of things we consider normal are relative, because all of a sudden everybody works remotely. They said it wasn't possible on a grand scale before that, but now it is, because it had to be. So what else? Think about it. What else in your life is relative? If you're a woman who is beaten by a guy, walk out the door. You know, if you are a dude who gets abused by his employer, walk out the door. As Saba rightly said, every choice you make has a consequence. And if you don't have anything that buffers you, if you make a hard choice, well, then you will suffer for a while. But the question is, what's worse? Staying in a situation that will make you suffer indefinitely, or getting out of a situation, feeling pain for a couple of years and growing out of it and becoming better? It's really the choice you have, to stay or to leave.
Great speech, as always. Girls, would you like to add something before next question?
No, I personally don't have any experience with the music industry like Anima had, so I of course believe that it exists there, and usually there is more harassment or these kind of things in media, maybe because there is more competition, or I don't know the exact reasons as I'm not experienced in that area, but yeah, it's just a lot of learning for us, I think.
Great. Let's talk about real creativity. What is real creativity?
I'm thinking.
No?
Okay. Any ideas?
Real creativity.
Yeah.
I think it is like a person is he can impression himself, like he's not a fake, he is real. And I think in some of cases it's like creativity, real creativity, maybe like when he can do everything what he wants, and he don't think what people can think about him. I think it's true.
Great.
I think if it was something that you can put into a specific set of words or phrases, then it won't be creativity. For me, creativity is just like you can't really define it, because if you can, then it's not creativity for me anymore. Because creativity is like, it's like a surprise that you don't expect something and then it happens, and that's why I think it's hard to put it into a specific definition, like what is creativity.
Yeah, that's a very hard question. It's like the archetypes, you know, you can't really visualize them because they are on this border between concrete and unconcrete. So that's why I chose the archetypes, because they're so creative. They can be anything, you know, as long as it's a human and some male or female or hybrid form of it. It's some human in a sense, maybe, or even half human, half animal. I would say I agree with Saba's definition of creativity as a generic term. However, there are certain definitions of creativity in certain areas of life that I consider suitable. Because if you want to say, like, be creative in engineering, and there are ways, then it will be very different from how you can be creative as a cook, or as a visual artist, or you can be creative in any job. And this is something most people don't realize. You can be, creativity is self-expression, is trying to come up with something new, something unique, something useful, hopefully, something beautiful. It can be anything, you know. It's basically birthing something, giving birth to an idea, materializing an idea, probably. And of course, if you can can take an idea that combines various fields, like say technology and art, that's even better, you know. And this is also why we do this event, that we are planning to do this flash mob, because it shows people what you can do with technology. It puts it into the context of a community event, and so we combine music, arts, technology, community, and so that's cool. It's like an even harder example of creativity that requires more work, because you can have an idea like some of these Greek philosophers, you know, that when you sit under it, or Newton, you sit under a tree and maybe or maybe not, an apple falls on your head or something heavier, and you have like an eureka moment. But you know, creativity is a lot. It can be a very small surprise or change or something innovative, and it can be something really big. But the really big stuff usually takes a lot of people and a lot of time and a lot of working against resistance, because unfortunately creativity is for some reason very often not very desired. But it's a great thing, and I urge everybody to explore their creativity more, as long as it's friendly, you know, and hopefully maybe at some point creativity will be useful. Then it's even better, because then more people can participate and everybody's happy. So yeah, art for everyone. Basically, and it's also one reason why I let the girls customize their own masks. So,
and
yeah.
I like. Do you know this joke? Earth without art is just Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice joke. Yeah.
True. Because without artists, you would be naked. You wouldn't have a house, because architects also basically you wouldn't even eat. Because look at all the gourmet art, you know, like the food art. And also somebody had to invent it. Somebody invented coffee. For the coffee bean to become a drink. And milk added to it as well, if you drink it with milk, and sugar. The way to refine the sugar. Everything that humans can create and make into something useful is it's great. It's true, yeah. The earth without creativity would be nothing. We'd just be animals that would just walk around like zombies all day long. And that's very bad, don't you think?
And also maybe real creativity is create yourself, yes? Always create yourself and discover yourself, yeah? Explore yourself and find a solution. It's a real creativity, yes? When you